Gotta go.
Hey, welcome everybody. Show number 3. Show number 3. That's not bad, is it? We actually made it through 2 shows, and we're on the 3rd one here. What was that? Did you hear that?
Oh, Harley.
Oh my God, Harley.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is that we gained 1,000 listeners, right? Between shows 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we did. I mean, we actually did pretty damn good.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was pretty
20%
awesome.
increase in 3 days.
That's pretty good. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight on Bar Talk Radio and podcast. We're broadcasting live from the Consult mobile app studios Tuesdays and Fridays, right? 7 to 8 for right now. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
7 to 8. We're currently streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you can't watch us live, then I can recommend that you get our podcast. Our podcasts are actually up now. I got all that fixed. So you can actually go to www.bartalknow.com and get the podcast right there. Or you can go to Spotify, Apple, pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast. That's where we are. I'm Dropkick Dave. We got the Nick in here, and we've got
Captain
Sir
Chris.
Captain. Is it Captain or Sir? So we have a decision to make tonight.
Right.
It's either going to be Captain Chris or Captain Chris Crunch.
Yeah. I think if he's going to be Captain Chris, it's got to be Captain Chris Crunch.
Or Sir Chris, which
Sir Christopher, I think.
Sir Christopher. I like Sir Christopher.
Esquire.
Sir Christopher Esquire, which I don't mind at all. Actually, let me see. I am on here right now. I want to make sure that I am broadcasting live, and let me double check. You think I would have done this?
I got you on YouTube.
Ago. And how about Facebook, boys?
I got you on Facebook.
Is it on the Consult or the Bar Talk Radio?
Sure is.
Interesting. Hey, Mike Krager's on. Hey, Mike, what's going on? That's something we have to come up with. And let me ask you a question. Where exactly did you get the Sir Christopher? If you don't mind. I mean, I know you were knighted, but where exactly were you knighted?
I think it was about 10 minutes ago in this room.
Are you sure? Wasn't that?
I thank you for that.
Well, Dave had an idea of where you were knighted, and I think I'm going to go with Dave on this one.
Yeah, I did have an idea, and I want to say that it was the Spring Hill Mayor actually knighted you. I think that's who knighted you, correct? The Spring Hill Mayor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With a Ginsu.
No, but seriously, we got to come up with with a Ginsu.
On the shoulder.
Yeah.
No,
with one of those electric turkey knives.
Yeah, we seriously have to come up with a name for you. As much as I like Christopher G. Fry Esquire, which sounds absolutely fantastic, we do have to come up with a name for you. And we'll figure that out.
It's a little long-winded.
We have two names. Sir Christopher or Captain Chris. You make
Crunch.
the choice. Either way, he has swords. Show us your Sir Christopher sword.
Whip out your sword.
This is
that's the
hand and a half Sir Christopher sword.
That's the Sir Christopher sword.
That's Excalibur.
But Chris is actually Chris is the CEO of the Consult app. So we all take a part in the Consult app, and Chris is the CEO and the president of the Consult app. So we're happy to always have him on here.
Bye.
Tuesdays and
Subscribe.
Fridays. Yeah. So, we are currently experiencing some
growth.
Some growth. Yeah. Oh, I'm growing.
Some growth.
So I am completely lost here. I'm exhausted. This is what happens when you get in at 6 a.m. because I got in at 6 a.m. this morning, and I'm going to leave here at what time?
Bullshit.
9-ish.
9-ish.
8:30ish.
Yeah.
9-ish.
9-ish. So how many hours would that be?
Well, we wanted to talk about the
A
wells.
lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 12, 15.
Yeah.
Just another day.
I'm losing oxygen. So anyway, we're looking forward to tonight's show. We got we're going to thank our sponsors. Obviously, Consult mobile app, which is absolutely incredible. We're going to get into a little bit about that. Oh yeah, I didn't even turn that on. Jeez, I'm slipping. You guys got to help me a little bit. Nope, not wrong one. That one.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe that should go on
Gotta
the
run
board
our,
today. We're still
run our ads up.
We're still new at this. It's been so long since we've done shows. This is our third show.
Netflix? Is
Yeah,
Netflix a sponsor now?
We're getting ready. We're going to watch a Narcos while we're doing the show tonight.
Good series.
Actually, we
Let's
finished
go to the
it.
source. right. I think I got it, man.
Dead air. What the hell is that?
I don't know what that is.
It was a busy day at the office today.
There you go.
There it is.
It's not even the right icon, but there it is. We're up. We're up. Third show, and we're falling apart. Anyway, thanks to the Consult mobile app. It's a badass app. Download it. You'll be able to download the full version in June.
June.
June 1, Monday.
June 1, man.
June 1.
It's going to be awesome. It's actually launching for pre-sales in May, but it's not really going to be a full launch. So, but we're still on target. So we want to thank Wells Fargo. We're going to talk a little bit about Wells Fargo. They're probably not going to like me after this, but
let's just go with it now.
Yeah, I'm going to let them know straight off the bat what I think about them. Also, we're going to talk about also LawPay. Thanks to LawPay, we appreciate it, and Avos they're badasses. They are the world's leader in reviews and ratings for attorneys, and they have partnered with us in the app, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. They've really played a big part, and it's really cool. You can actually go to the Avos ratings for each attorney right directly from our app, so it's really, really cool. So let's get right into it, man. Let's start talking about some stuff. We have a lot of stuff on the board to chat about. I know Nick wants to talk about a few things about this banking thing, about this Wells Fargo, and it wasn't just Wells Fargo.
Well, there's a lot going on right now, obviously, with this whole PPP program, and all the small businesses clearly are watching what's happening, and the United States is watching.
Right. As of Friday, in our discussion, they had basically liquidated the entire fund that was set aside for quote small business.
What was that? $350 billion.
Yeah.
Yes.
350. Yeah.
And it was
gone,
extinguished, or spent.
Yeah. Well, we know kind of what happened. We called it the other day. It's not like we didn't call it, a week ago before this happened. Me and Nick, and there's probably more than just us, but we called it out and said, listen, we already know what happened. They shuffled the applications and put their high-paying clients in those loans, and that's exactly what they did. And
thereby making it not just a small business loan.
And it's dirty.
Well, not only that, but then, they were supposed to, the premise of this was they would be processed as they came in, first come, first serve.
Correct.
And then right before it went out, they said, because we went over the definition of what a small business was, they said, well, you can be a corporation, but you had less than 500 employees in one location, which all of a sudden qualified for the larger corporations.
Sure.
And
well, McDonald's would qualify for that.
Yeah.
So, they did the old shuck and jive, the bait and switch, and here we are, Wells Fargo, in some hot water, getting sued in a suit in California.
Yeah. And what happened to the other businesses that actually took the money? They felt so bad. What'd they do?
Well, Shake Shack actually gave their $10 million back and said, and here's another thing, I read a little further into it. They had $100 million of liquidity, and they still asked for the money.
That's absolutely crazy.
And then they said, and now they're backpedaling, of course, because there's
it's a bad PR.
There's blowback from everybody, right?
Oh,
there's
a
massive blowback right now.
Yeah.
And so they gave it back, and then I actually was on LinkedIn today and was reading an opinion from somebody on LinkedIn that said, the owner of Shake Shack sat in a meeting a couple weeks ago with all of his attorneys and all of his advisors, and they decided to take this money, right? And then seeing the blowback, now all of a sudden they're going, oh, well, we're going to give it back. It's not like some gesture.
Right.
You already got caught with your hand
you
in
got
the
busted.
cookie jar.
Yeah, you already got busted.
And the only reason why people know about it is because they're public and they have to source that they got the money.
Right. Do they just think we're stupid?
And here's another thing too. Everybody's listening because nobody's working.
Right, exactly.
So if you take a normal issue, which typically this would be a big issue.
Right.
But we're in a pandemic.
Right.
We've never been in this situation.
Right.
And now you see like big business, right? And part of this opinion of this guy was, what did I read to you, right? Like they don't want people to know because they wouldn't hold up to public opinion, right?
Right.
And
the court of public opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I have a real hard time. This is what happens though, and I mentioned it the other day. I think they should have never given the money to the banks. They should have delivered it or distributed the money in a different way. Those banks with liquidity, like Shake Shack and other businesses, I think if they needed help, they could have maybe got loans, but maybe got a break on the interest or got their payments pushed off or whatever, because they're credit worthy enough to go out and get loans. A lot of these small mom and pop businesses, man, they can't just get a loan for $50,000 or $60,000 to stay alive and to pay their employees. So I'm gonna talk real briefly. I just think it's absolute bullshit. I think Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and any other bank that had to play a part in this should be ashamed of themselves. And I think Shake Shack and some of these other businesses that took the money when they had liquidity, I think they should be ashamed of themselves. And this is going to backfire, whether they already backpedaled or not. I'm going to be hard pressed to buy a Shake, as much as I love them, and me and Nick absolutely love them. I mean, we love Shake Shack in New York. That was like one of our traditions. We would go there
2 blocks away,
from our place, and we would get Shake Shack. Absolutely loved it. I would be hard pressed to get another Shake Shack burger. It is what it is. It pisses me off. It stings me to the core. I freaking hate it, because I'm a small business. You're an attorney, so essentially you were a small business. Small business owners got the shaft. Now they have another $450 billion that was approved today. Correct. Right? So let's see how that money's distributed. Do you think that's going to be distributed a little bit differently?
People are watching.
Yeah, people
There's
are watching.
A lot of watchdogs, man.
It's crazy. How many? I mean, Wells Fargo's been through this before with this stupid shit that they've done. And look, I know they're our sponsor, and we bank with them. That's what we bank. We have our business banking through Wells Fargo, but they should be ashamed of themselves. I'm sorry. It is what it is, and I'm the first one to call them out. It's bullshit.
All the banks made a ton of money in when they got the money back in, what was it, 2008?
Yeah.
They got all that money, and everybody was like, oh, they're really going to help people in lending. They didn't do
anything. No.
They kept the money. They absorbed other banks, put them out of business. And
what about the scandal Wells Fargo had with opening up accounts in other people's names to get their quotas up and branches, and they weren't telling the people they were opening the accounts? There were criminal charges filed against the CEO of Wells Fargo. I mean, that's just dirty business. That is blatant fraud.
It is
plain and simple. And so we kind of forgave him for that, and then for this to happen again, man, it's just. It's a
shame.
It is a shame, man. It's horrible. These small businesses,
for all the people that some of our restaurants around here, and then I think of New York, all our spots, man.
It's crazy.
This Gallagher's still going to be there.
I think they should have come up with a different way to distribute the money. When you put the money in the government's hands or in banks and stuff like that, there's going to be some fraud. There's going to be some.
They're profiting off of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty shitty. So that's what we have to say about it, and there is really no other explanation. It's complete fraud for them, and we called it. We called it when they ran out of money. We called it. I mean, we just knew. We knew what had happened. So let's get off that. I'm done talking about Wells Fargo. I'm done talking about this PPP loan, because I'm not going to get it, and hopefully some small businesses now that need it will get it. That will get it. Let's talk a little bit about about Florida a little bit and about what's going on in this godforsaken state.
The unemployment crisis.
God, dude. I've never seen anything like it. It's like they have an excuse every time DeSantis or somebody is addressed with the problem with the unemployment. They have an excuse, and these people, they've been waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for unemployment benefits, and their bills are not going away, and they're it's been horrible.
We are 50th in distributing unemployment money right now.
Well, to me, if I do my math, to me that means last. Correct?
Dead last.
Dead last.
Dead last.
I mean,
we're the caboose.
Yeah. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, how embarrassing. I mean, how freaking
what have we
embarrassing,
said?
dude?
What have we said about the non-forward thinking, right? And the good old boy networks down here, and there's a certain pace, and it's just crazy to me. What I don't understand being last. There's
we shouldn't be, because if you watch, it's an election year, and you watch when the fall rolls around, Florida becomes a big deal.
Right.
We are a very populated state, but fundamentally, we are not an industrial state like many states in the nation. We're a service-based state.
Right.
Tourism.
We have tourism, and that means small businesses. There's shops all over the beaches. There's shops all over the state.
We're number one in actually what people spend per capita on their vacations.
It's insane. I mean, look as far as a corporation is concerned or small business owner, look at the difficulties in the last 6 months just dealing with Sunbiz. Their system is so far behind. Months. That if you apply for a corporation with Sunbiz, it literally takes you a couple months now for that to show up on Sunbiz, when it used to only take, maybe a week at tops. Right. So they didn't change. Nothing's changed. They put all this money in I-4 and they do all these things, but they don't change their systems.
Well, look at DBPR, which I've had to deal with on several times with certain licenses. There you can't get anything done. I mean, you literally have to. I called on a daily basis multiple times every day. The person that was supposed to be handing my file, because they're like, A through F, press 1. I never spoke with that person, and I called for 6 weeks, and they never answered their phone. They never returned one call. There would only be one guy that would return a call in the office, and he's who actually forwarded my paperwork to get this stuff processed in a timely manner, and it took still 3 or 4 weeks longer than what they said, and it's ridiculous.
It's asinine. I mean, it's embarrassing to live in the state and for that to happen. Maybe, there's no, I understand a lot of people move here, there's no state tax, but maybe if they charged some state tax and kind of updated their systems, people wouldn't complain.
Well, I think kind of the issue sometimes is you have people making an hourly amount that really just don't care if it gets done or not. They know that the pile is going to be there. So they're paper pushers, right?
Right.
We need them. They're essential.
Right.
But, they go in, there's a stack of papers, and you get what's on the left, and you put when it's done on the right, then it goes, and you shuffle it away. And they don't care. Right. They don't. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And then, they have jobs. So if their unemployment check they were waiting on that, do you think that it would motivate them?
Motivate them?
Motivate them,
sure.
What's your experience with the court system? You've been a criminal attorney for years. I mean, do you find the court systems in those counties a little slow, a little behind in the
which counties?
Times? Pinellas and Pasco and those counties that you practiced in.
Depending on the area. Right now, certain areas of law, more of the trial court system is just completely shut down. Just about. Yeah. Maybe I'm not sure, but I would imagine that transactional attorneys and
But even when things were open, did you, from one county to the next, did you see consistency in the process and the timing of it?
We knew how big Pasco got because you've been in Pasco for, 20 some odd years. I mean, you've been there forever.
2002.
So when they got big, I mean, did they stick and move and kind of
They've adapted to a large measure in certain areas, sure. But, there's still more rural areas in the county.
Right.
Pasco is kind of, it's almost really it's a large county. It's like a big rectangle on the side. And you've got East Pasco and West Pasco.
Right.
And it's split in two by US 41, and anything east of 41 goes to Dade City and west goes to Newport Richey. Newport Richey exploded with growth back in 2002. When we moved there, our house was the last block, and all the way up.
Yeah, a little road. I mean, I was living there at the time, and we knew each other at the time, and that whole area had blown up. I mean, I remember
that
Little
started
Road.
in the mid '90s. Newport Richey, Port Richey,
and subsequent to that, through the early 2000s, it was on fire. I mean, it was people were moving from Tampa or Hillsborough County across the bay, or around the top of the bay, if you will. And Pinellas County was just it's one of the smallest counties in the state of Florida, but one of the more populous counties. So people were coming up, housing costs was a big thing. Of course, then we ran into the issue with the overinflation, or inflated prices of the houses, or the valuation of the houses. And, had the housing crash, and that was a nightmare. I mean, there's still neighborhoods you can drive in where they're selling $1 million homes, and there are still homes from that crisis with the housing issue that are in different states of construction. It just froze in time. Some still there's a slab on a lot. Others have the framing done and
and nothing's done.
And no one lives there.
Wouldn't you like
vacant.
that house with all the framing just sitting exposed for all those years?
Yeah, for years. And
Italy,
years.
it's shit. When I went to Italy did that because Italy, when you got off, I flew into Venice, and when I was going to Vicenza, and you would drive on this interstate, and you were driving, and you're looking at seeing all these beautiful chalets, and you're like, oh my god, they're beautiful, but like part of them's not completed yet. It's like you see they're all half built, and it's because if you don't complete your home, you don't have to pay tax on the property or the home. So they would just leave these beautiful houses like undone, so they wouldn't have to pay tax.
Right, and some of them are in the middle of a neighborhood.
Right,
so there's houses on like either side of them, and the grass is like 3 feet tall, and it's like this incomplete house.
Right.
It just they stopped at various stages of construction, and just people bailed out. It's like. Like in a movie where
I feel like Tiger King could have been shot in Pasco County.
Oh, dude. Listen, Pasco, it's come a long way. I got off 75 in Pasco there, all the way to 75. They have the outlet mall there, and they got all that stuff out there. I mean, it's come a long way. That all used to be just the sticks out there. I mean, it just used to be nothing, but it is what it is. Florida's Florida. I'm not a big fan of Florida. We know this. I say this on the show every time we talk about Florida. It's just way behind in the times. I mean, and to be 50th and not help these people out, man. I mean,
we've paid out under 3% of the claims.
That's ridiculous, man.
And again, it's not an industrial state. It's a service business, mom and pop shop.
Right.
40,000 have been paid out. 1.5 million.
And now add Disney to the mix. So you got 70,000 more. They're going to jump all over that, right?
Yeah.
They're going to
an instant.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, some of the unemployment rates have come out, and they were like in 4%, and it was like 2.8.
Right.
February is like 2.8. I think it was like 4.3 in March. But that's skewed because most of the state was still open and still functioning almost at a level. Right. Some of the parks had shut down then, and started to shut down like mid-March, but the stay-at-home order didn't go into effect until April. So next month, we're really going to get a snapshot of how bad it is. And segueing from that, we're going into these protests that they were down at Lake Eola protesting the stay-at-home and Texas, Colorado, Michigan, a bunch of these states, and it's crazy. It's crazy how these people are acting. I mean, I understand, people are freaking out right now, but also they're putting other people in danger as they go out and do this. And of course, there's some really. I mean, I watched a video of the Colorado one, and this woman has her, and they, of course, the media is making it. They're Trump supporters. They have to throw that in there.
Oh, of course.
But there was people dressed as nurses, and they couldn't confirm whether they were nurses or not. But anyway, they were when the light was green, they would walk out and stand in traffic like they were blocking people from getting to the Capitol, And this woman's like, "Go to China if you want to be a communist," And it was just like,
Jesus,
oh,
mental illness in this country is at an all-time high. I mean,
she's hanging out of the truck, like, and of course, it could have been. It was a big Dodge truck,
right,
with a train horn on it.
Did it say flow grown? Did it have a flow grown sticker?
They only showed it from the front, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm surprised this doesn't say a Florida man.
Yeah, well, we cannot confirm that truck had a flow grown sticker, but
we have
could be an 85%
suspicion.
Chance it's asinine, these people, and I don't know what to think about the protests. I get people that are like stir crazy and like.
Well, I think that's a lot of it. Is not only do you have now financial difficulties, particularly if you do own a small business and you're laying off employees. As we said, law firms are doing it, and all other businesses are doing it. I mean, they're going under. The bankruptcy courts are going to be just. I
really feel bad for these small business owners, man. I really do. I have really kind of have a special place in my heart for small business. I've been in small business forever. My family's in small business. I mean, and really, it's what runs this country. I mean,
I think it's 89%.
Yeah, and when they're thriving, things are good, and when they're not thriving, things are bad. And it's a shame that the government had bailed out these people and come up with this plan for small businesses and for people to take advantage of that, man. I don't know. It's almost criminal.
And even like with the stimulus situation, you get your check, but the bills don't stop. How about if you perhaps created some kind of legislation that dealt with maybe postponing contractual obligations, which is virtually everything, electric bills, water bills and stuff. I mean, people are panicked because they're coming up now on probably a couple of months where they may not be able to pay their bills.
Right.
And then your credit's going to be destroyed and all kinds of horrific consequences from it. And it's, it's not even widespread. It's now universal.
Well, I had a guy today. He was on. I was listening to him, and he's like, "Look, man, $1,200 is $1,200. What's that do? The problem is, I have a mortgage, and I've got all my bills. I got everything.
You got to make your car payment.
Right.
You got to make your insurance payment, or they cut you off immediately.
Right. What the banking industry should have done, and the mortgage industry should have done, is just stop the mortgage payments until this is over with, and push them to the end of the loan.
Defer.
I mean, you're still going to get your money.
Yeah, exactly. You have a car payment.
Right.
Defer it till add 6
Fucking
months on
just
the end.
scumbag banks, man. I'm just so sick of them, dude. And you can't live without them. I mean, they just pull the like. And we were talking about this the other day. Wells Fargo pulls all this shit and does all this, and this is like the third time Wells Fargo's had issues. And we're in New York, and they just like stopped our account. They froze our account.
Yeah, debit cards don't work all of a sudden.
So we're in New York.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah,
no
we're in New
notes.
York. Our credit cards, debit cards, nothing works. Okay, and the reason for that is because I forgot to change the address on the bank account. So their answer to that was just to freaking shut everything down. Yeah. How about a phone call? How about an email? How about just notifying me saying, "Hey, man, your account's going to get shut down if you don't." They don't do that. They don't give a shit. It's the same old when it comes to banking. And unfortunately, being a business owner, you have to deal with banks. It just is what it is, and it's just sucks, dude. I'm like really angry that these small businesses got jacked. It just sucks, dude.
Yeah,
it's not right, man.
It's an eerie feeling.
Yeah, it's just not right. So,
but and the thing of it is they want to borrow you money when you have money, but they don't want to borrow you money when you need money.
Right.
It's just like, okay.
It makes no sense. So,
like insurance companies.
Yeah.
Risk assessment.
So when do you think this is going to be over? I mean, you think it's going to be May 1st? They're going to let everything open?
You know what? That's a good question because look, it's an election year.
Right.
Okay. And we're coming up on the summer. Rapidly.
Are they trying to push off the elections?
I haven't
Trump,
heard
I have
anything
the power
about that.
under the executive order.
Right.
I'm just going to stay.
But think about it now, okay? It's an election year. They're already jumping all over Trump for what they're saying is a slow response to the pandemic, and yet it continues on. So I personally think it's going to go on into the summer, potentially into the fall. Hopefully not, but who makes the determination as to when this thing is no longer pandemic worthy, if that's even a phrase?
I know the term pandemic before it was a pandemic.
I know Georgia. I know Georgia's opening up Friday. The governor of Georgia is opening up bowling alleys, hair salons, some other businesses, and still kind of keep the, the employees have to be checked, fever and things like that. But they're opening up, so that's going to be a test.
Yeah,
we're gonna find out. Now, I'm praying to God it doesn't backfire and more people get sick.
Right.
Everybody whose fault. Like Trump came out the other day and said, it doesn't matter what I do. I could come out with a magic pill and everybody could be healed in like one day, and it's still going to be my problem. It's still going to be my fault.
Right.
That
and that's what I'm saying.
I didn't act too fast.
So the election's coming up. So who in the political system is going to run the risk of the backlash if you start reopening the country when they've already plastered him for allegedly responding too slowly.
Right.
So now you got an upcoming election. What do you do?
Right.
I mean, that's immense political pressure.
Yeah.
They've been on him since he got into office.
Listen, let's be honest. He could make the biggest mistakes of his life and then open the whole country back up and half the people get sick again and he still is going to win the election. Nobody's going to vote for Biden. Nobody's going to vote for that clown. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. Come on. Let's be honest. Nobody is going to vote for that guy. Nobody. Not even the Dems. The Dems can't stand him. They are so frustrated, and I don't blame them. A Democrat to have to vote for that. I mean, how many years now have they just put somebody there that's absolute garbage? Seriously.
I think Biden's driving Pelosi to drink.
don't know, dude. I don't know.
If she didn't drink previously.
Do you think she's a smoker? I don't know. I picture her just like,
like sucking down like 3 packs a day.
Yeah.
How was your day? Like, do you think her office smells like
like
tobacco?
one of those old amber glass ashtrays with
Yeah.
50 butts put out with lipstick on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's crazy.
It's like your old
she wakes
aunt's
up and her
house.
mascara is like just sliding down her face. She's like, time to go to work. Gotta run the country.
And a rocks glass with a bottle of scotch half that.
Yeah. Dude, it's been crazy for the last 8 years now.
8 years, man. It's been like 20.
It's like, God, man. I mean,
I cringed during the political. Well, what's nice is with all the coronavirus, you really haven't seen that many political ads.
That's true.
No,
that's true.
Got that going for us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The political ads. Oh my God. Well, they're coming.
Do you think they'll make like a? I think we should do this. Those things you squeeze and they have things shoot out of them. Should we make like a Corona squeeze ball, like a stress Corona squeeze ball?
Oh God, dude. Like my
like one of those little gel balls,
like my Trump, guy.
The little red spines will shoot out.
Poof.
This is a crazy time. It's been crazy. I feel bad for mom and pop businesses. I think that's where my heart is right now. I really feel bad. I know people have died and I know people are sick, but people are getting better and I think less people are dying, and I can kind of see an end to the human aspect and to the sickness. I see an end to that. I don't see an end to the suffering for a small business. I don't see it.
Well, bankruptcy courts in the next couple of years, man, are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Florida, we said is a tourist, heavy.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just screwed that one up. Is heavy tourism. I mean, think of how many restaurants there are in the state of Florida of all kinds, including family owned, and they are just getting
They're not open. Yeah, they're not
peppered.
open.
And not, you realize, and here's another thing too, right? Is we're a debt-laden society, which we're all cash poor, right?
Right.
And this is really this is going to make, I think, moving forward, you'll start to see people really invest in like saving. Right. Having a savings account, not just living.
They say it's going to change a lot of things, but I'll wait and see. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the preppers who everybody made fun of are doing well.
Yeah, they're down in their little caves with their food and water.
I thought about that the other day. Do you think that the guys that were waiting, and have the thing built and their little man shed down there going, this is great, or you think they're like, man, I am going stir crazy. I'm selling this thing.
Yeah, man, it's weird. I mean, we didn't shelter in place. I mean, we've been coming to work, but we don't have a lot of employees, which is nice. And everybody's about 6 feet apart, if not more, if not more than that, 20 feet.
Oh yeah.
But we've been fortunate enough to work and to get what we need to get done.
We've been in quarantine since November.
Yeah, I mean, like we've
pretty
been
much.
Yeah. So this is grind time. I mean, these are 15, 20-hour days where you're just grinding, trying to get this stuff done. It looks like everything's going to pan out for us. So
don't you feel fortunate that you're able to work on what you can and not?
Oh yeah.
Think of the people that want to do it, right, but can't. That's that. Therein lies that shift.
Yeah, I feel real fortunate. Really, I mean, blessed to be able to come in here and work and get this stuff done. So, and it's go ahead.
And what we are working on is, I think, going to be very helpful, at least to the legal profession.
Yeah.
In trying to bounce back, because what's going on in the legal profession, I mean, communication is power. You have to communicate with your clients. You have to communicate with opposing counsel, et cetera. And what we are developing here, you guys are developing.
You're part of the company.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the CEO of the company, so we're in this together. Yeah, we're coding. We're doing the coding stuff, and you're doing the business stuff.
But Chris and I are allowed to listen to the sounds. And
we hear the keyboards rolling, and the cheers from the back room.
The feverish pecking at the keyboard.
It's funny every day.
Oh, you should see where we added 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's funny. Every day that we're in there, we kind of like tweak and make a few little changes here and there and here and there.
And sometimes it's the whole thing.
Yeah, and sometimes they still hate me, dude. still hate me, but
I've never seen such disdain.
Yeah, Joe and Mike
from a 22-year-old that wasn't like somebody's child, but he gets like these daggers, eye daggers.
Joe looked happy today, though. I think Joe's on the right track.
I was just going to say, a hats off to the development team.
Oh yeah, these guys.
They are just pounding it out. I mean, literally, like we will talk about an idea or a feature. Right. Or a tweak to a feature or something to better a feature on the app. And 30, 40 minutes later, it's done.
Yeah. They're good.
They're just cranking it out. So hats off to...
they're good. They're good, man.
To Mike and Joe.
Yeah, to Mike and Joe. And Dave, because I'm back there and I'm doing the front end stuff. So...
the neat part is when you read about
that's
what
like trying
other people
to watch
are doing.
an X-rated movie with your father.
Whoa.
I've never done that.
I don't know where that came from, but there's some things I can't unsee.
Oh my god!
Just having the
all right, folks, we're done for the
boss at the boss at the end of the table looking over your shoulder.
It's freaking horrible. It's funny. We had like 20 listeners. Now we have one.
It just blew out.
See ya. And it's his dad.
Disconnect.
Oh my god.
No, that was an analogy. I've never watched an X-rated movie with my dad. Are you kidding me?
Whatever. So we can talk about a couple more features.
I've never seen an X-rated movie.
Yeah, whatever. So this guy, he's just digging a hole, isn't he?
Well, now your dad just hung up.
Yeah, now your dad. So let's start. We can talk about.
I'm going to throw myself on this.
Yeah. We can talk about a couple more features of this Consult app. So here next week, we're probably going to have a 2-show feature and kind of go through all the features of the Consult app.
A little spoon feed?
Yeah, a little spoon feed because, it's launching in, it's actually out in May. But the full launch will be out in June. I'm trying to get as much attention on it as possible. So, and the attention that we've had has been
it's getting
pretty incredible.
It's building.
Yeah. When you have big companies, and I'm not going to say names, but like big companies, send you emails and say, hey man, we want to partner with you. We want to integrate. We want to do some stuff with you. You had mentioned it right before we did the show. That's a pretty good feeling. That means you have something here. And we realized Avo. So Avo does not just do API keys and stuff for everybody. So we were happy that they did that for us, and they saw the vision, and they follow us, and they're in contact with me all the time, and they're like, Dave, man, we're very excited. We're really, really pumped. Even the people at Apple that we talked to, that I had a phone conversation with, she goes, look, we investigated your app. We kind of took a look at it. We went on your website, and we're like proud to have you on the Apple format. And I'm like, so it feels good. You get a little bit of reinsurance, and we know it's going to be a winner. It's like, and I mention this to Nick all the time. It's like,
we knew it was going to be a winner when we discussed it.
Right. Yeah.
At conception.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's like going to Vegas and knowing, or it's like, watching Back to the Future, where he goes back and he sees the ball game, and he goes back into the future or up in the future again and knows the outcome of the game and bets the lot on who wins. It's kind of how I feel right now. So it is a win-win situation. So what did we talk about last time? Did we talk about the white labeling for the attorney? Did we get into that at all?
We were getting into that as to exactly what white labeling is for those people who are not into tech.
So I'm going to explain it. I'm going to kind of go into detail about it.
Screen.
Yeah. So I can't pull it up and show you an example tonight, but this is something that we'll be able to do next week. I'll be able to pull it up, and on the screen you'll be able to actually see screenshots of the app. So, but white labeling, what that is an attorney, larger firm, small firm, it doesn't matter. They will have a dashboard inside that app that all of their clients will be attached to. So whenever their clients go to the app, they will have that dashboard, whether it's to be load documents or send notes or tasks or do video calls, do phone calls, do instant messaging, whatever task or whatever they do through the app will be done from that dashboard. Well, that attorney will actually be able to brand that dashboard with that attorney and that firm logo. So, which is great because it makes it seem like, hey, look, this is my app.
It's personalized.
Yeah, it's personalized. So, so that's absolutely fantastic. And the attorney and it also will have a hashtag code, and with that hashtag code, he'll be able to advertise the Consult app on his advertising or his marketing campaigns. And with a hashtag, somebody that sees his advertisement and they download the app, they can go and punch a hashtag in, And instead of making a phone call and having a phone conversation and scheduling an appointment and having to go down for the appointment, that attorney will actually have a face-to-face video conference with you. So that's huge. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
huge.
I know Morgan & Morgan has something out now. We kind of looked at it, and it's web-based, video.
Client portal.
Yeah, client portal, web-based.
Yeah, client
Which
portal.
is not really very secure, and it is what it is, and they're stuck with what they have, but they're trying their best to try to stick and move and try to, interview clients or whatever. But we also want to talk about the text messaging, which is really unethical. We're going to talk about that. We're not going to mention the firm, but we realized there was a firm that's
Yeah,
doing
we
that.
touched on it last show, the
Yeah.
dangers inherent
Yeah.
in text messaging, and especially like I think we were discussing, things of a substantive nature. For those non-lawyers, substantive means basically you're talking about facts or legal strategy or things like that. Things that are traditionally attorney-client privilege, and you don't want anybody to find out about it or it be disclosed to anybody. And I think, as Nick pointed out, if your cell phone happens to be on somebody else's account, they can pull up a transcript of all of
Absolutely.
your text messages.
And phone now.
And in,
phone.
say, a divorce situation,
Yes.
where unfortunately it's now become the war of the roses, so to speak.
Yes.
And one, both people are on the same account, and they're like hustling, throwing out emails and
Right.
ordering, transcripts of all text messages from their cell phone provider. Big problem.
Absolutely. And even abusive relationships, we get
Sure.
into that where, either the woman's getting beat and the man's getting beat, whatever it may
Domestics.
be, domestics. If the phone's in your spouse's name and you're getting abused by that spouse, it's hard for you to communicate or try to figure a way to get out of that situation and contact an attorney. With this app, you can actually download the app, and all the communication's done within the app. So your spouse has no idea whatsoever what conversations you're having with the attorney. So that's a plus too.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And that's kind of linked in with the texting. I mean, if you think about it, even with your kids or your parents or everybody now, nobody speaks anymore.
Right.
There's no verbal communication.
Right.
It's all texting. And if you don't know text lingo or abbreviations
Right.
or what have you, it's
It
a
takes
mess.
longer.
Yes.
Yeah, like
And-
WFT and all those, or what is it?
WTF?
WTF.
Welcome
yeah.
to Florida.
Yeah, welcome to Florida.
Now think about it. It's like if you're sick of reading words, and sometimes people don't use punctuation, so it's just like one run-on sentence or rambling thoughts, and it's easy to misconstrue, number one. Number two, sometimes it doesn't even make sense. You don't know what someone is trying to say.
And nobody uses commas in text.
Right.
We were just discussing that
Right.
with our editing.
Yeah.
And, so texting, took away or has detracted from verbal conversation.
Right. Well, what they don't realize is the client gets in front of the judge, and you can't text the judge. You got to have verbal
Right, you have to
conversation.
be able
So what's your answer?
Yeah.
And then you hear the judge's phone go ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. The security part of it is astounding. All of these law firms, we
even
did the
the Zoom.
research. We did the research. Oh, and I found something else out that I need to talk to you about. But we did the research as far as investigating how many law firms, because cybersecurity is really, really important to us. It has really become a problem, especially in the last 3 or 4 years.
It's created an industry.
Yeah, it has. I mean, cybersecurity.
It has.
They get in through email, they get in through whatever it may be, whatever their website, or they get in through email, whatever it may be for that system to be breached. They're using those traditional methods. If you use this app and documents are stored in the app and everything's in the app, you're not going to have that issue. They can't, the app can't get hacked. So it's 100% secure. It's encrypted. It's 100% secure. You're not going to have that issue.
And not only that, but we're bringing back not only verbal communication, but face-to-face communication.
Right. Which is important.
As we've talked about and will continue to, because I personally think it's important, whether it's repetitive or not, and sorry to those listeners who might think it is, but why don't you just review the stats on what
it's
they found
huge.
out on research between the effectiveness, and in law, communication and effectively communicating your message is it is what you need to do as an attorney. You cannot do that without a close attorney-client relationship.
Right. No, I mean that's exactly why this app was put together.
So how did things go down? Well, let me text it to you.
Yeah.
Right.
No, this is exactly
like,
why this app was put together. You know, there's been a disconnect for years, and I keep saying it over and over again, but there's been a disconnect between the attorney and the client. Now, doctors and patients don't have that disconnect. That doctor's there with every step of the way with that patient.
Right.
Everywhere from the diagnosis to the treatment to the recovery, whatever it may be, that doctor's always in pocket. So there's a bond there. There's a relationship there, and it's built. With attorneys, it's different. There's a disconnect with the attorneys, and that's the reason the number one complaint with the Bar Association is, you know, my attorney never gets back a hold of me. I've lost my attorney. Where is he? I'm complaining to the bar, and it causes a lot of problems.
I read an additional stat that I found staggering. I shared it with Chris. 1/3 of all people that have had to deal with an attorney in the last 5 years felt that if they had to return when they make a call to an attorney's office, they feel that they have absolutely no faith that they'll get back with them on that call.
That's
1/3.
Well, that's just that's
way too much.
That's how people think of attorneys. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to fix that. I think the face-to-face video, face-to-face, I think it builds trust. They start to build a bond. You'll know right off the bat if you like the attorney, if you guys have some chemistry there to where you think you're going to work well together, because really that's what it's all about. You don't want some guy or some lady, some woman taking your case that you think that she's not going to work for you. So it's nice to have that rapport, and I think that's why it builds it, and I think that's why a face-to-face conversation closes at 72% compared to 15% phone call.
Correct. And you have to speak to your clients anyway, regularly.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Things constantly pop up. As you were pointing out before, a lot of clients feel like I go in, for those who pay retainers, say in criminal, family law, things like that, I hire my attorney and I don't hear from them again until there's a court date.
Right.
And so what do I expect at this court date? And, it's
insane. You had mentioned it the other day. I mean, we put up photos. That's one of the prerequisites of a user to go on. It's free for the user, but they have to put up their photo as an icon. And you had mentioned it before. Sometimes you don't talk to your attorney or your client for 3 months. You don't even know what they look like. So when you're in the courthouse,
you go to court and you're like,
right,
hoping they call a name or something. It's
right.
like, yep, you're mine.
Yeah.
And that's, it's sad, but it's just a fact. It happens all the time.
Right.
And we know some of the personal injury firms, not mentioning names, but you won't see an attorney.
Right.
You'll get you'll have an investigator investigate the case. Yeah. You fill out your intake.
You get a paralegal,
and then you'll find out, whenever, hey, we're going to take it or no, we're not. And then at that point in time, you'll meet an attorney. So
there's a personal injury firm here in Orlando, a large one, okay, that is now relying on text messaging to get all the paperwork and the retainer agreements and all of that filled out through text message. And it's unethical, first of all, because you don't know the security of that text message. That text message, that person might not be the only person reading that text message. So that's a real problem. And I know some of these attorneys are scrambling, and I apologize that we weren't out 2 months ago for you to jump on this.
Yes.
And to their defense, look, a lot of them, this has never happened before. They're freaking out. They're just trying to save their business. They're trying to get clients, and I get that, and I understand that.
Well, and the communication issue is not just limited to like an attorney failing to get back with a client. It goes the other way too.
Right.
Somebody comes in and a surprising number of people. I practice criminal law, and you would think, hey, your loved one was arrested or they're now involved in the criminal justice system, you would think they would participate. But they come in and they honestly think, oh, I got a great lawyer, and so ball's in your court. It's like a handoff in football. Here it goes. Run with it. It's like, hey, I wasn't present at the scene of this thing.
Right.
You need to cooperate with me.
Right.
You can't just disappear and show up at hearings and say, here I am. So tell me all about my case now 3 minutes before the judge calls us to the podium.
Right.
You just can't do that.
Right.
I think they're calling you, they're throwing you a lookout block.
Right. Yes, right.
Hike the ball and just stand and watch the defender run.
I think this app's going to solve that problem too, with tasks and with notes and kind of keeping them up to date. And it's complete transparency between the attorney and the real time transparency between the attorney and the client. And not only that, the attorney doesn't have to share everything. You only share notes and things that you need to share with the client through the app. There's another cloud to where if the attorney needs to save private stuff that's just for that attorney, they can save it in that cloud. So they don't have to share every little bit of information about the case, but they do share important information to kind of keep the client up to date on what's going on with their case at all times. And that's huge. That really is that's a big deal. You know,
and it's efficient in the fact that it doesn't require a phone call. You could just put a note in there.
Well, with a couple buttons, boom, 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 you're notifying your client with a push notification that's opened up at like 98%. You know, you're letting them know right off the bat that, hey, you know, I got this. This is what's happening. You know, stay tuned. You know, but they're up to date on what's going on. You know,
right? And unlike texting, which is not secure and it's just a bad practice. I mean, let's face it, texting is great, just like in your personal relationships. I mean, if somebody calls us, you know, what time's the birthday party? Oh, Saturday, it's at the park at 3 o'clock, you know?
Which park?
That's what.
Parks are closed, Chris. Because if you got a handle on one.
Closed park. It's in the next
Are there going to be more than 10 people?
All right, shithead. Shut up.
We're the COVID.
This has been going on for a half hour before the show started, okay? So I'm the punching bag today.
Today you are.
Dave is punchy from being here since 5 or 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning, I'm punchy, man. It's like, God, it's funny. It's funny. Like, I'll get in this attitude or whatever, and I'll be back there, and I'll be sitting there on the sofa back there, and people just stay away from me because they know it's like, oh man, I ain't going near that guy. You know?
No, there's a saying: "Don't wake a sleeping bear."
Yeah, but it is what it is. So, the app's almost done.
I've had anxiety all week, man. It's like this is remember January? January 2nd.
Well, we got the customer service done today. 24/7 customer service. So
great
for users and attorneys. So
and the chat, right?
And the
online chat.
Yeah, the online chat. So
Kelly, we hired Kelly.
Yeah, we hired Kelly. So let me tell you, this is really, really cool. So if anybody kind of wants to check the app out, all you have to do is go to www.consultlivenow.com. Go there, check it out. There's a little bit of information up there, not as much as they're going to be next week.
Right.
But we put up some screenshots, some things to kind of get an idea of the app. But there's a live chat on there, and if you need to speak to somebody or find out when it's coming out or kind of keep up to date, you can do that. What's really cool is we also put that live chat in the app for the users. So if the user has a question or they got a technical support issue or customer service, they can go right to us. They can have a live chat with a customer service agent right there, an American customer service agent, not somebody in India or Vietnam or anything like that. It's a local deal, and this is American made. This app, we didn't, and this is another thing. I'm getting off track, but this whole app was made in the U.S. We didn't send any coding to India.
Was outsourced.
Nothing was outsourced. Everything was built in the U.S. We have American developers. This was an American product. Everything was built here. So that's another thing to be proud of.
We got to put a Made in the USA sticker on there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that. We didn't have to go over to save money. We did everything here in the U.S., which is really important, and it stimulates the economy. And the guys that we have, they've been, we didn't lay them off. They've been getting paid every week. So it's really worked out. But the customer service is absolutely fantastic. So the attorneys will also have customer service, technical support. Their support will be live chat and video chat. So not only
really nice.
Yeah, so if you have an attorney that's struggling on either how to use something in the app, or they have questions about a subscription or whatever it may be, in the inside of the app, they can press a button and they can get a live agent face-to-face over the phone. That's huge. Nobody else does that. So we're going to do that, and we think that's really, really important.
Right, and being an attorney, I'm watching it as it develops, and I've been involved in the process, not to the extent you guys have, as I'm coming full-time, this weekend.
May 1st. Well, yeah, this
4
weekend.
days.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find a place for him to live?
I've got a tent. We have a refrigerator box by the dumpster.
Listen, this office is so nice. The way we got that back studio set up.
John pulls up and he's in a tent out front.
But it's upwind of the dumpster.
Oh, so that's good.
Yeah, we got a primo spot in the parking
shift
lot
in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't rain here.
Yeah.
So we're pumped, to say the least. We are excited. The whole document center that got done today, all the documents. And the other deal was, let's talk about what happened today as far as the documents were concerned. So we know it's important to upload documents, whether it be a PDF, a Word document, whatever those documents may be. It's JPEGs for pictures, and you might have pictures
files
of an accident. But now we've actually you can upload voice files, and you can upload video. So if you're a personal injury attorney and you have an investigator and he does some video and kind of checks some video out of a thing, he can upload it into the document center and it stays there for you to look at. If you're, it doesn't matter, criminal attorney, personal injury attorney, an accident, you want to video the accident scene, whatever it may be. You can now upload video into the document cloud, the secure document cloud. So that was something that was just stuck and moved today. We feel video is really, really important for court cases.
Yep.
So
Sure. Well, video is just as important for the communication, which is what the app is all about. But it includes all these extra features. Right. And I think we touched on that last show.
Do you have to find a certain video button to hit to put it in there?
No, it's simple, dude. Listen, you just
you said it knows it automatically.
Yeah, it just knows.
Cool part. That's awesome.
It knows it's a video, and then it stores it in the video area. I mean, it's just the way this app is coded and done.
A little AI in there, artificial intelligence.
There were certain things that we did to produce this app we thought were really, really important, and the one was user experience, not just for the user, but for the attorney as well. We want this app to run as smoothly as possible, easy to use. We want attorneys to be able to use it on the fly. We want attorneys, if they want to get a client, it's just a matter of a couple buttons. They can go right on. They don't even have to log on with anything. They can actually just, it has Face ID. They're automatically on. They go to their dashboard, and they can click a client and make an instant contact, an instant video or instant message with their client right off the bat securely. So we wanted just to make it run as smooth as possible, and everything's come together that way. This app is just, dude, it is so amazing.
And you don't have to have a panic attack when you're trying to use it, like some of the other CRMs.
Yeah, even Joe, he's developing the Apple version of it. Joe, and he's actually going to be working on Android, but he's getting excited because he's adding all these things, and he knows how this is turning out. He's excited. We're all excited because these little changes mean a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Attorneys are on the fly. Imagine you being an attorney, okay, and you got 25 clients, active cases, and you have all those clients at the palm of your hand.
Or 100.
You have them all at the palm of your hand. You can just make a couple clicks, boom, boom, and then get to that, and then make a quick call, or make a video chat, or send an instant message, or send a note, or upload a document, or do a task, or whatever it may be.
Sharing documents. Documents come in, they're scanned into the attorney's file. And again, we talked about this as being kind of a virtual office in your pocket. It automatically will share it with the client. So as you are
real time
as the attorney, shouldn't say you, as the attorney is uploading these documents, it's sending
Dave Charles Esquire.
It's it's sending notifications and push notifications to the client. So they get a little.
Well, it's transparency. It's real time.
Boom.
Yeah,
there
it's
it is.
Time.
And they can look it up. They could pull up the PDF and look at it, whether it's a court notice.
But how nice to be able to do that. Like, let's say you want to jot a note, you're in court. You could get them that message in real time as soon as it happens. You don't have to worry about, hey, when I get out, now I got to go back and do this, right? Or go back to my office.
Or I got to write it on the inside. Or I got to write it on the inside of a file and then take it back to my office and then put it in. It can be done on the fly.
Exactly, because
way more functional.
Many times, judges will permit attorneys to appear in court on behalf of the client without the client being there, and even in criminal cases, in many jurisdictions or many courts, it might even differ by courtroom or judge. But the fact is, or the point is, that you can get this done in a matter of seconds within the app securely with your client and tell them what happened at their hearing that they were not present at right then and there. And it's done. And it's also recorded and logged in your progress notes. We used to call them a run sheet in the paper files, where you'd have it look like
just knock it out automatically. It's definitely a time saving measure. I mean, no question about it. And when I say uploading those clients or putting those clients, you could be an attorney with 100 clients on your phone. Well, guess what? We make it easy for you to onboard those clients. It's an email that's sent out with a link to the app. They download the app. They have a code that you send them. They type the code in the app, and they're automatically invited to your dashboard. They're automatically in the app.
And you can do that with not only present clients, but past
clients as well, yeah.
Et cetera.
Absolutely.
And if something occurs and they need an attorney, guess what? Boom, you're on there.
Well, what's really cool is, past clients, bigger firms, they stay in touch with those past clients. They're very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Because good, happy clients refer. So that's great. Well, what's really cool is...
That's how you grow your business.
Absolutely. So they have parties. So a lot of firms will have parties and banquets and things and kind of tie in all the past clients with the future clients and the new clients. And it's a family. So we have a item on there. It's called push notifications, where that firm can literally type a push and send that push notification to all their past clients, all their new clients, all their current clients. Send it out to everybody, and they get that push notification immediately. Maybe it's a Christmas party, or maybe it's just, hey, we're wishing you a happy holiday, or whatever it is. But that part of the marketing, as far as push notifications, that's included in this. And they can send out push after push after push if they want to send out one every week. This would have been a perfect opportunity for these attorneys to send out a push letting them know the new policies and things that are going on with the COVID-19 situation. So that's a whole nother marketing tool that we've included in here, because we feel it's very important for that attorney to be able to get that message out to their clients exponentially, super fast.
And there's analytics.
Oh, and there's analytics. So actually how many people opened the message that you sent, actually how many people viewed it and actually clicked through. So there's all kinds of analytics. Just the app is like a complete, it's just amazing. The things that we've added in the app. It's funny, when me and Nick, when we first got started with this, when we first started, it was my vision. I put all this stuff together. In fact, you looked today. It looked at the old pro forma of the old screenshots and stuff like that, and just from where it went from there to where it is now, it's like.
And then you take that, but then there's been phases where we've made implementations and we've shifted gears and tweaked and. Each time it's brought it to like a ridiculous level, and you think, oh man, this is it, this is the best. And then from a UI experience, Dave made some changes in this last week. Some, I say, not saying that lightly, all pretty much changed the whole way the app's going to look.
Right.
But man, dude, it's amazing, and it's great and excited as we were out of our mind in December and January when we got started, thinking, oh, this is great. We're over the moon, man, and because it's only gotten better.
Right.
Oh, well, I remember at that point, Dave was, calling me. We talked, regularly about the concept. At that point, it was a concept, and it was, hey, Chris, you've been practicing 30 years. What? Give us some ideas for things that we'd look at, and we would talk about little things that have now grown like tree branches exponentially, like into all of these other, as you said before, they're little things to us, but they're going to be huge to the user, whether it's the client or the attorney.
Absolutely.
Or a witness or an investigator or a secretary or a paralegal. Anyone, you can add as many users as you want.
Right.
And there's unlimited client onboarding by the attorneys. And from going from being I guess you would say, we've been friends forever, a friend and a source for information and thoughts on this concept at the time, just a few months ago, seems like weeks to me. I'm now a member of the team.
Right. It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
I went from, full practice of law to now I'm working on the app, and
everything that's put into this app was by attorneys. Attorneys gave us the information. Yeah. So really, this app is built by attorneys for attorneys.
Exactly.
So that's what this app is all about. So when we first started doing it, we wanted to surround ourselves with as many attorneys and as many people to give us advice and kind of give us ideas of what to put in the app. So so that's what we've done.
And dare I say that we're the only ones that I feel that has addressed the client.
I was going to say,
and that's how it's different.
It's by attorneys for attorneys,
and
to the benefit of the client.
Absolutely.
Also,
absolutely,
it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, direct benefit.
And again, how many times have we heard even this week so far, and it's just Tuesday? You mean there's nothing else like that out there?
Yeah.
Every
time we talk to somebody, it's like, oh, there's nothing like that. Well, I think people are used to the medical. Like you talked to your doctor today. Yeah.
I did a video today with my doctor just to discuss some issues, and one of them being moving and how,
is it
how
difficult
can we do
to talk to a doctor over video about ED?
And you're going to live, right? and he said you're going to live, right?
I'm going to
ED
live.
meds.
Can't get a boner, but he's going to live.
I got no lead in my pencil.
Yeah. So how did you have to prop the phone up to actually pull your britches down and show us?
And you didn't. Luckily, you didn't have to like hold it too far away, right?
Right now, by
did he have instructions on the self-rectal exam?
by the end of summer,
he's like, "You got the glove on, Chris? Let me see it."
Yeah. I will be Christine by the end of the summer.
Oh my
the
God.
operator is.
He goes, "Now listen, take your finger, and I want you to draw. You got a permanent marker. I need you to draw a line. Listen, you need to make sure that you don't cross that line."
Yeah. In fact, Chris, let's be safe. Actually, take 2 fingers. Oh my God, we're sick bastards. So this is what happens when you're tired and you can't function anymore.
You're tired, hungry.
Yeah, tired and hungry.
Yeah,
so
one
good.
of those headaches behind your eyes.
Oh yeah,
looking at a computer screen for 10 hours.
We're out of time again. Yeah. I mean, an hour flew by. Wow. Absolutely flew by.
It's amazing, isn't it? Every single show.
It's crazy.
It's, or all three.
Like, or all three shows.
Yeah, every single one of the 3.
Yeah, all 3 shows.
That's all right. We got more to discuss.
Oh yeah. So in the next week or so, we're actually going through, and we're going to go through every feature. We're going to have screenshots so that people that are actually on, watching us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, watching us stream, they'll be able to actually kind of follow along. And obviously, we want as many attorneys as possible, so we're going to do some marketing to attorneys and get them on to watch the program. And I'll boost this afterwards. And it looks like we've had some pretty good response. I think, or what was our last show? We had 5,500 views. Or
64.
Like that.
I think it was 64 on the second show and 5,600 on the first show.
So we're getting a little traction. I'm actually boosting those posts and boosting those videos out to attorneys.
I was going to say and the YouTube videos. We're going to be posting YouTube videos, instructional YouTube videos.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With regard to all the features that we've been talking about.
Right.
So that you can easily see how it all works.
We're going to make this an easy process for the attorney. Look, this sells itself, but we're going to make it to even easier by explaining everything to you about every feature and why we put that feature in.
Right. It's not going to take a month to learn how to use the thing.
And the attorneys are going to know. They're going to see it and go, oh, man, what a great idea. They're already going to know.
They're already saying it.
And look, we're pro-user, too. Look, this is free for the user. We know a lot of people need attorneys, and it is what it is. I mean, I think 20% of America last year needed an attorney for something.
Oh, yeah.
So we are pro-user, where the user will never have to pay for this. This is going to be free for the user for the life of the app. And
immensely helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, particularly because life happens. Kids go to school. They're at sports. They're at their dance. They're doing whatever they need to do.
Right.
Academics, what have you. And hey, you get caught up in things. You get stuck in a line at Publix and you can't get out for 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Well, now you can go to your car. You could use your phone, your mobile phone, which everybody carries with them. I mean, my kids, they're in their pocket. You see the square outline of their cell phone in their back pocket.
Yeah, no more Copenhagen cans.
Yeah,
cell phone lines.
It's now cell phone lines. And you can do it from the convenience of your car.
Right. No, it's we could go on all night and really talk about this app, but we're going to get out of here. Listen, thanks for tuning in. We were a little shaky today. We're exhausted. We're absolutely tired. Tuesdays, Fridays, we're We're going to stick with that, I think. Yeah, Tuesday, Friday, 7 o'clock,
Friday,
7 to 8, or might run a little bit over. For the small business owners that are out there, man, we're thinking about you.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. Man, I wish there was something I could do. I'm not a billionaire yet, but if I was,
well, we've been
I'd
eating
certainly.
Out. We've been eating out.
Yeah, Kiwis. Kiwis, and we
definitely try to visit some of our local establishments and support.
Absolutely,
we
got to eat
local.
Yep. So hang in there, and these people that haven't got their unemployment, you hang in there as well, man. It's a rough time. I couldn't imagine. Fortunately, we're not in that.
We're blessed to be able to do what we're doing.
We're blessed to do what we're doing and not have to worry about money right now. But we haven't always been like this, so we feel you. Money's tight and bills suck, and it's not fair what's happening to you. The state of Florida should have better prepared for this, and they have not. So it's a shame. So you guys stick in there too. So we're thinking about you. So we will see you Friday. Chris, are you here Friday?
I will be here Tuesday.
You'll be here Tuesday.
I'm on the fence about Friday simply because I'm moving.
You're moving, yeah.
So
probably not.
Yeah, I don't.
You're not going to hear me complain.
I don't want to overload myself and sleeping in the tent.
No.
The tent will be here Tuesday.
No, you'll be here.
Listen, you got a back seat. Don't worry about it.
So you'll be here Saturday night.
Except there's boxes of it.
Are you going back Sunday? So what are we doing? Okay, we'll talk about it after the show. But anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate it. And we will see you Friday. Me and Nick will be on Friday. Oh, we have a cyber guy. We have a cyber hacker coming on.
We confirmed it.
Yeah, we confirmed it. We have a hacker coming on the show Friday. And he's going to talk about... He's going to tell these law firms that you guys are just crazy because I can get into anything you got. So, but he can't get into this app. So he's going to give us some tips.
Even if he says please.
Yeah. So these attorneys listen to the show because he's going to give you some tips on what to do and what not to do. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, so that's
huge.
Cool.
In fact, our board of directors, we're hoping to get a cybersecurity expert on our board of directors.
Yes.
That's how important cybersecurity is.
We can't name the person, but there's definitely someone in mind, and the qualifications are just
incredible. So
you can't get better.
That is a huge problem that we've had, and it gets worse and worse. It's something that's not getting better. Cyber hacking and cybersecurity has gotten worse over the years.
Even on a national security level.
Absolutely. So
terrorism is now
right.
Cyber hacking and
right.
They're
shutting hospitals down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Grids.
Yeah, they're shutting everything down. So we're going to talk about that Friday, and then we will kind of maybe talk about a little bit more about the Consult app and because Friday it's going to be done. The Apple's going to be done, so we'll go through a few more features, and then we'll talk about some other stuff, some daily events, and some things. But we have some shows that we're going to do. We're going to do some DUI shows and do some stuff. We're going to have call-ins. Yeah, we're going to have call-ins. There's all kinds of stuff. We're going to get. A big thing I want to get. I'd love to get Bill Umansky on here.
Oh, Billy!
No, seriously, I want to get Bill. I want to get Bill Umansky. I need to get him on here, man. The guy is full of
who?
Bill Umansky. Don't you know who Bill Umansky is?
Oh, Billy!
I love that guy, really. We need to get him on, and so we can have some conversation about what's going on. He seems to be in tune here in Central Florida with what's happened with some of these small business owners and stuff like that. So I'd like to get him on and chat with him. And then, and so we're going to have call-ins. We're going to have people come in. As soon as this COVID's over with, we'll obviously have more visitors in studio. But
we'll be allowed to go out and play.
It's going to be, we'll be able to go out and play, and it'll be a lot more fun. We're kind of stuck in a lane right now that we're going to be out of shortly. So listen, we appreciate you tuning in.
It will help rebuild businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to do what we can do. We want to do our part to help kind of stimulate the economy and stimulate some of these small businesses. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We will see you Friday at